gonna do what I want. Welcome to day number 10 of 10 Days of Pat McGrath Labs. This is a little series I'm currently running on my channel where we started at Mothership 1, we went up to Mothership 9, and then today we're adding in a little Celestial Odyssey. So we've done an eye look with each one of Pat's palettes. This is the last one. Today we're also going to do a full face of Pat McGrath Labs as well, or whatever products that she has currently out. There are some products she hasn't released yet, but we're gonna do a full face. I thought, why not go out with a bit of a bang, hey? Why not? Anyway, let's go ahead and get started. Before we do, you know the drill, let's go ahead and do the YouTubey things. Go ahead and give this video a thumbs up, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and let's get into it. Before we get started, it is the last day that you can enter my little giveaway here on my channel. This is the first giveaway I've ever run, so it will be a learning curve, I'm sure. But I am giving away a brand new Divine Rose 1 palette. So this is it right here. It's untouched. The box did come broken. I've been saying this in my videos just so that no one comes to me when I ship it to them and they're like, it's broken. Anyway, check out the description box down below on how you can enter this, and then however I've said in there that I will contact you, keep an eye out for that over the next couple of days, because I will announce the winner within like 3 days of this series finishing. So I just want to give enough time for people to enter, etc. Let's take my Makeup by Mario primer and set the lids. I actually find the Makeup by Mario primer works really well with the Pat McGrath shadows. It's funny, I've definitely noticed that some palettes work better with the NARS primer and some palettes work better with the Makeup by Mario one. So I've been finding the Pat ones work better with Mario. So there you go. Now today we are using Celestial Odyssey. I have quite a few videos on my channel using this palette already. Don't forget, I do have a Pat McGrath playlist. There's lots of videos on there, you guys, lots and lots. I really use my Pat McGrath stuff because it's expensive and I want to keep reminding you guys to use them because you got to get your money's worth, you know what I'm saying? So all of these 10 days will be added to that playlist as well if you're wondering. But this is Celestial Odyssey. I adore this palette. I adore it. I love the color scheme because there's such a mix of color and wearable tones in here, and even the colors I find in here, like this tone, etc., like the brighter colors, I still feel like they're really, really wearable. It's like super wearable everyday color. So I really, really, really like this palette. I think it's well worth the money. I will just quickly dip into my Subliminal palette for this taupe shade because there's just not quite a light enough transition shade in Celestial Odyssey. This is just my Delium Tool 776 brush. So I'm just gonna fluff this through the crease really softly and just kind of create that nice soft fade effect that I like. Let's go into Celestial Odyssey. I'm going into this little matte shade right here with my Refa number 15 brush, and we're just gonna slowly and softly like deepen the crease up with it. We're just gonna fluff it through the crease. I've always been someone that really likes doing my base first, but since I've been doing this series, I tried doing my base last on a few looks because they were quite glittery, etc. And I've really been enjoying doing my eyes first now. So what's happened to me? I'm a changed woman. No, the blend in these mattes is so good. I wouldn't say Pat's like, you know, shining star is her mattes. I think Natasha Denona mattes are a lot nicer. I think Pat's shining star is her metallic and special shades. But these are nice in Celestial Odyssey. So that shade's all blended out. I'm gonna take my Refa 14 now and go into the dark brown matte. And we're gonna do exactly the same steps, but just slightly lower down and more condensed, like I normally do for most of my looks, to be honest, you guys, nothing groundbreaking. This is just what I do. This kind of a look always suits my hooded eyes, and that's why it's like my go-to kind of look. So sorry if it gets a little boring. I don't mind that I have like hooded eyes, to be honest. Like it doesn't bother me like aesthetically to like look at them. I just wish I didn't have hooded eyes because the looks that you can do, like if you've got like Jaclyn Hill eye set kind of thing, for example, like you can just literally do any look and it looks so good. So, I mean, for makeup reasons, I would love to not have hooded eyes, but in terms of like, do I hate the way I look? No. But you know what I mean. Anyone else feel me on that? I just want the real estate for the shadows. And I don't even have like super, like, you know, I can lift my brows and they're less hooded, you know, so I know. I'm not complaining, I'm just saying. If I could have more real estate for the looks, I would. My mats are where I want them. So now we're gonna go into my Intensify stick and I'm just going to pop this. Just by the way, if you find that when you're using this and you find it's dragging a little bit, just warm it up on the back of your hand a little bit and it will get that like nice glossy smooth glide again. I'm just gonna put this on 3/4 of the lid, kind of like how I always do. You guys have seen me do this a few times already. Now I'm just taking a flat shader brush and I'm gonna go into this beautiful brown shade right here first. And we're just going to pat this on this little outer corner here. Not all the way in, just very kind of like, just here. That all over the lid with these two shades will look really pretty. But that's not what we're doing today. We're gonna go a step further. Okay, so now we're gonna pick up my Rapha number 2 and we're gonna go into the gorgeous little silver shade right here. I know I don't think I've used like the pinks and stuff in this palette, but these are the shades that I love the most, so that's what we're continuing on with. We're gonna pat this over the rest of the lid here and marry it into that chocolate brown. I really like these tones. At the moment, I'm really loving these kinds of like chocolatey brownie vibes with like a cool tone in the corner. I love it. So pretty. Oof. Perfect. Now I'm just going back into that original shader brush that we used with the brown. And I'm gonna tap this over the outer corner here again, just to like marry them together and kind of like bring it back because I did overlap it a little bit. Oh, I like that. That's so pretty. Can you guys see that? Oh, I really, really like that. I feel like if you could even like put a wing on here or just leave it, but you could even put a wing on here and really like, or get that like, especially if you don't have super hooded eyes and you can pull off a wing, like that real smoky kind of wing look. Oh, that would look so stunning and so glam. Anyway, I'm not gonna do that. But what I am gonna do is we're gonna actually leave this look here for now. It's not finished, but we're gonna leave it here for now and we're gonna move on to the base makeup and then we'll come back to this. So let's move on to the base, shall we? So we're gonna take my Pat McGrath primer. I have a full face of Pat McGrath Labs that I did recently as well, by the way, where I actually talked about like all my thoughts and everything on all of the products and what I think is worth it, etc. So make sure you check that one out if you're interested in knowing my thoughts. I still think the primer is like something you can definitely kind of skip, to be honest, unless you really want it because it's Pat. I mean, that's why I bought it, let's be real. Now, before I put my foundation on, I'm also just gonna put a little bit of the concealer. This is the Pat concealer, just on my imperfections and redness here because her foundation is quite light coverage. So I just want to cover up the imperfections a little bit to help it out. So let's go ahead and take my Pat foundation. This is in the shade Light number 4. And I've just started using, I used to use a palette all the time, but lately I was using the back of my hand and now I've just gone back to my palette because I felt like it, really, to be honest. Now I'm just taking, you already saw that, I'm just taking my sponge. I got these new Eco Tools, like organic biodegradable sponges, and they're really nice, you guys. So if you've been eyeing them off, I highly recommend them. I got them, if you're Australian, by the way, I got them from Priceline later, 2 for $12, which is really quite a good price for Australia for a sponge, to be honest. So I'm just gonna pounce this all out over my face. Now I'm gonna take my concealers, and I've also been taking my concealer and putting it, like taking some from the tube and then putting it onto this little palette lately, and then mixing them together. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm just gonna make my little concoction. I'm mixing the shades L2 and L4 so that I get like a little perfect shade, baby. And I've been doing this because I've been watching a lot of makeup artists lately. So I'm just gonna mix them together. And now I go through these phases sometimes where I like want it to just be quick and easy to put the makeup on. Because sometimes, like, you know, when you're in a rush for work, you can't really just sit here and make all these concoctions. But when you're in the mood to like play with makeup, it's like, it's fun, you know? And then what I've been doing to blend it out is I've just been taking a clean blending brush and diffusing it out with the blending brush and kind of tapping it in which I know Patrick Tar actually blends his concealer out this way. Again, if you're in a rush for work, it's probably not ideal because it does take a little bit longer, but if you've got time to do your makeup or you're wanting to like sit and play with it, then this could be fun. So concealer's on, and I really honestly do think that putting it on the palette and then like patting it on with a brush and then blending it out with the blending brush truly makes a difference to my makeup. It looks more full coverage, it looks nicer in real life. I do kind of tap over it really lightly with a sponge just to properly melt it all in afterward, but I just think it looks a lot nicer, and I use a lot less product so it doesn't look as full on. I'm noticing that, like, especially when my skin's going through it, I need a brush. Just 1 second. Just taking my Huda Tantor, by the way. Especially when my skin's like really going through it, I notice that I really need to learn to put, sometimes when your skin's like playing up, you want to put more product on to like cover it up. And that's understandable, but I need to learn that like your skin ends up sometimes looking worse when you do that because it looks heavier and like, you know, all that kind of stuff. And like I find when I put a lot lighter of a base on and then strategically cover where I need to, it looks a lot nicer and I look younger and more youthful. So I think I'm just getting to that point in my age where like the base makeup, unless it's like nighttime, you can go a little bit heavier and more glam because then it looks a bit better. But just on the natural, I just need to like go a little bit lighter, I think, especially on days where my skin's just hating me. I think I just have to do that. So that's what I've been trying to do, and I just think it looks a little bit better. I'm just gonna go and blend out my contour now. Contours are all blended out. Let's go ahead and set my face. So I'm taking my under eye powder from Pat, and we're just going to lightly set my under eyes. And I'm gonna take this just a little bit through my T-zone here, just to get rid of those pores, you know how it be. For the rest of my face, because this foundation is a little bit light, I'm actually gonna take my Pat McGrath powder in medium. This is the under eye blurring powder in medium. It's a little touch too dark for me, but I'm going to just put it on with a brush, so it should be okay. And we'll see how this goes. I picked this up for an all over kind of powder, and I think it was at the time too dark, so we'll see how it is today. But when I went to pick up the loose powder from her, it was all sold out, so I didn't get it. Anyway, we'll just lightly tap this all over the face. This is a Refa number 25, if you're wondering. It's quite nice with powder, actually. If I'm not using a powder puff, this is the brush that I'm using. Yeah, that looks lovely. Okay, happy days. Maybe I can use this a little bit more. Nice. Nice when things work out. I definitely don't want it to go to waste. We're up to bronzer. I'm gonna use my Makeup by Mario bronzer. Still one of my all-time faves, honestly. I do love the Huda Beauty one, but this is a really nice kind of more cool tony one, so I like it for that. Let's move on to highlight. Now for highlight, I'm actually gonna use, I wanted to use this one today, but I'm gonna use Golden Nectar because this eye look is a little bit more of Golden Nectar's vibe, whereas this one is like a lot more kind of pinky, see? So we'll use Golden Nectar. So let me grab a brush. So I'm just gonna tap the excess off and we're gonna highlight. This highlighter never ceases to amaze me. It's just a delight. Okay, what are we up to now? Blush. Okay, blush. Great question. Because I feel like with the vibes, Desert Orchid is probably the one that I should go for, because it's more neutral, but I kind of really want to use Electric Bloom. Yeah, I'm gonna use Electric Bloom. I'm gonna say screw it. I'm gonna do what I want. I'm just gonna take a really small amount of Electric Bloom, which looks scary, but you just wanna build it up really softly. Just like a really small kind of flush. We basically just have to finish up the eyes now. Now for the lower lash line, I'm gonna take this color right here on a Sephora Precision Shadow Brush, and I will run that underneath here, just like pretty much what I do for every look. And I'm just taking my Refa number 3 and going into like the dark brown color right here. And I'm just gonna concentrate that on the lower outer corner. just to create a little bit of depth here. For the inner corner, I'm going to go into this purple shade right here with the Lunar Beauty number 6. And I was actually going to like swoop this up here, but the eye look is looking so good. I really don't want to ruin it by accident. So I'm just going to pop it in the corner and just give it a little purple pop. I'm just going to put my Pat McGrath black eyeliner on the top waterline, and I'm going to put the champagne one from Charlotte Tilbury on the bottom. I've also got the Fetish Eyes mascara and the Dark Star mascara, so I might actually layer these two together, and then our eye look is finished and we'll come back and we'll do lips together. So I'm just going to quickly go and do this off camera and we'll come back and finish up. Now let's go ahead and do the lips. So I have a Pat McGrath lip liner here in the color Suburbia. This is a little bit darker than I would normally go for these kinds of, like this kind of look. Considering the eyes are so kind of like dark and sultry, I would go a very, very soft nude lip. But we will try and manipulate this so it's still soft, because I don't have like a soft nude from Pat. Now we're gonna go in with this lipstick right here. Look at the packaging, just amazing. This is in the color Omi. It's very similar to Fembot. If you have Fembot, they're pretty much the same shade. They just got slightly different finishes, which is funny because they both say they're matte trances, but Omi's a lot more satin. I'm just gonna tap this into the outer corners here. Oh wow, Suburbia and Omi are like a literal perfect match. I had no idea, honestly. I didn't plan that. It was just the only lip liner I have, so there you go. It's nice when things work out. Now I'm going to take my MAC Creme de Nude. So I'm taking this just because I don't have a light Pat shade. So I'm just taking MAC Creme de Nude, and we're going to put this all over pretty much, just to like make it a little bit more neutral. I'm going to take Unhooked from Kosas and pop this over the top and hope that it kind of makes it a little bit more nudie. Can't decide if I love the lip with the look or not, but we're just going to roll with it because it's the most nude that I have from Pat. So let's zoom you back and we'll wrap up 10 days of Pat. Oh, wow, already at 10. Okay, one jiffy. And this is the final makeup look for day 10 of 10 days of Pat McGrath Labs. Can you believe it? Whole 10 days, we're already done. Now I really like the look. I will say my skin looks exceptional. Like genuinely so good. So I think it's just that I've been switching up the technique lately, that it's really works with that Pat foundation, but based off of how my makeup looks today, it just honestly looks so good. The eye look, love. Celestial Odyssey is pure perfection, truly. I freaking love using that palette so much, truly. Let me know if you have watched the whole 10 days. One, pretty please let me know in the comments down below. Two, you have no idea how much that truly means to me if you have watched the whole 10 days. Like, thank you so much. Honestly, thank you. And let me know what your favorite look was. I think mine is definitely Decadence and today's. They're my favorite looks so far, I'm pretty sure. I did also like Divine Rose too, though. I mean, I liked all of them, but Decadence, really, I cannot wait to use that palette again. And then today's is definitely the vibes that I'm really loving at the moment. But yeah, now also don't forget to enter the giveaway. The description, the details are all in the description box down below, and I will be in touch very shortly at the end of this giveaway to notify the winner that they have won Divine Rose 1. How exciting. Hopefully you guys are excited. And that is it. If you're watching till this point, you know I appreciate you. You know I do. And don't forget, if you are here till this point, to give the video a thumbs up, subscribe, hit that notification bell. I hope you truly have an amazing day wherever you are in the world, and I will see you next time. Bye. You know I'm all about that bass, no treble. Maybe that's just me. That'll do, don't care, that'll do. What are we up to now? Let's stop before we take it too far, shall we?